Welcome back, Zara here again for another fabulous episode of Style Drops. This particular session will be all about why Gail created this much-needed channel, and after careful consideration, it is recommended not to subscribe to this channel. Gail feels it should be for selected viewers only. The topics discussed here are not for the masses, mainly because these videos are not lessons. They're more about pattern recognition and exploring how their own choices affect their living spaces. She is not here to teach you the formulas for arranging throw pillows in descending size order, or what the optimal distance between your sofa and your coffee table should be. That has been done and copied and pasted over and over again by the hundreds of thousands of other social media channels across different platforms. There is a major distinction between STS's philosophy and the other channels or platforms. A lesson tells you what to do, whereas a session shares insight to give the viewer a broader perspective. And STS hopes to challenge conventional wisdom on interior styling and the choices made within the scope of a design project. The desire here at Style Drops is to help the viewers see a different side of designing their space, while also trying to close the gap on fear and overthinking from the multitude of choices available today, to help elevate your living space. The design culture has convinced everyone that there is only one right way to do things, and that will be the answer to all of their design dilemmas. And if you just follow their instructions and buy the correct items, and arrange them according to their principles, you'll end up with a space that feels more like a home. So with design lessons and decor insight that are everywhere on the socials, not to mention the endless clients that bring Gail images of their spaces created by AI, no one can disagree that there are plenty of ideas, inspirations, and opinions to be found in the wild. Gail's main desire here is to have you feel more empowered by making you feel more confident in your choices, not just opting for the safer choices. Style Drop's mission here is to create a place to help you bring your own desires out and to design with courage, not from a place of conformity. Let's be very clear here, it's not because these lessons are wrong, but Gail wants the collective to understand that the person adapting these lessons to their space needs to put their own fingerprint on that interior space, and the guidelines are not always universally transferred. Lessons are great for generic correctness, but they cannot always be optimized for your own interior expression. So when people follow the lessons and implement the formulas, they review and arrange everything according to the instructions. They sit in their technically perfect space, feeling absolutely nothing. Or worse yet, feeling like they're living in a showroom instead of a home. SDS is trying to fill the void between intention and execution. Style Drops videos help you recognize how your fear and your own rigid rules add to the unconscious behavior patterns that shape your design choices, and how those patterns might be blocking you from creating spaces that actually work for your life. And yes, these Style Drop sessions can be a bit sassy and salty. But, frankly, working with the collective on design projects can have that same sassy and salty quality, because the collective can be incredibly protective and rigid, as they push back on the simplest of things. But what they may be pushing back on is a major detail that is a very important factor within their space. That pushback usually is the collective's way of controlling the design. Whether your design interactions are with clients, customers, or the collective, you're going to experience all ranges of emotions within those interactions with them. From them being hard-headed and resistant, determined, warm and welcoming, grateful, and of course anger. These roller coaster rides of emotions are quite common in the design world. Mainly because everyone has a general idea of how they would like their space to look and feel, and let's face it, our homes are our sanctuaries, so these are very personal choices, and the amount of money being exchanged is obviously a very important factor in the equation too. But these encounters with clients can handcuff a lot of great designers, as their need to push back becomes tiring to deal with. Though as designers we understand their need, because this is their private domain, and no one knows it better than the person who owns that space. But a designer's job is to bring out the best look and feel. And a good designer is there to find a balance between what works and the client's vision, not just how the designer wants to see the room. So, with that said, let's get to the 6 design behaviors that Gail has gathered from her own perspective while working in the wild. Maybe you will recognize yourself in one. The first type is the functionalist temperament. They're only interested in the basics. They want everything today, for no more than $50, and throw pillows are a complete waste of money. Gail's usual reply: good luck with that. The second type is the design defiant. It's all about their way. They're the boundary challengers. The only right way is their way. And yes, they want that floor lamp shoved in the corner like that, with nothing around it. The designer is just the order taker in this relationship, even though they will be texting you after 9 on Sunday evenings, as their own personal concierge, with demands, not asks. The third type is the paralyzed overthinker, with a disposition of making sure that the other 5,000 options have been reviewed and are no longer in play. Otherwise they could miss something, and that might not be the best choice. The fourth type is the crowdsourcer, very lux-driven, very tribal, usually queen of neutrals. Fifth type is the free spirit, only I know what is right for me. They never really need a designer. Their choice is the only right answer, but there is a major difference between the free spirit and the boundary challenger. Boundary challengers are demanding and somewhat tolerant of outside opinions, as long as they feel you are doing what they want. Free spirits are just not listening and have no patience for outside opinions. The sixth type is the design disruptors. These are the unicorns. They love to design, but out of the box. This is where Nirvana lives, as designer and client work together as a mutual support team. No matter your design behavior, the first objective is placing the furniture in the right places, then choosing fabrics and cohesive colors, all while adding appropriate accessories. But here's where a majority of people completely miss the mark. Your space is not just a collection of furniture assigned to specific areas. Your space is the physical manifestation of how you're living your life, with needed functionality, and of course preferred style expression. But keep going. Add needed finishing elements to the walls and ceiling treatments, level up on lighting, and of course find great art, not just overproduced and cliché pieces. Those are just wall fillers. But, if budgets are tight, rugs is the one area. Gail does suggest going mass-produced. But most importantly, add those elements that bring character and interest to a space with vintage selections and unique curiosities. It's those extra elements needed to finish a project that brings the space alive. Style is courage to keep going. If your space is cluttered, chaotic, full of things you don't use and don't love, the lessons platforms may state, organize better, and buy better storage solutions. But a style drop session states, you're not lacking storage. You're needing to make some harder decisions about what works and what doesn't, while being open to weeding out items that no longer go with a desired forward vision you may have for the space. And eliminating items is a must, and letting go of the fear that you may need it one day. If your space is perfectly arranged and technically correct, but feels completely stoic, and you're now wondering why, the lessons from platforms may state, just place a couple of vases on the coffee table, along with a stack of books. A style drop session states, it might be time to step back and contemplate whether you're operating in safe mode. That's not a decorating problem, that is a selection issue. Here's the thing about following design lessons, formulas and rules. The majority of people prefer to design their spaces in a way that is measured, with and past proven accepted ways. And if you do exactly what the lesson says, you cannot go wrong, right? You followed all of the instructions. You implemented the needed formulas, and if it doesn't work, it's not your fault. You did everything right. You followed the rules. But safe is not the same as authentic. Safe is conformity. Safe is doing what everyone else is doing. Safe is designing a space that looks like it should work, because it follows all the principles. Authentic interiors are courageous. Authentic decor is all about making choices that serve you, even when they don't follow a formula. Authentic design works for your life, even if it doesn't receive over 1,000 likes on Instagram. Style is courage, not conformity. Style Drop is not telling you what the right choice is. SDS helps you find comfort in what you actually want to create, and why your current choices aren't getting you there. Creativity is Gail's oxygen, and helping people reclaim their spaces from formulas, performance and conformity, that is, Style Drops and Gail's raison d'etre. That's why she created this channel, not to tell you what to do, but to help you see what you're doing, and understand why it takes courage to do it differently, and to step out of the box. Until next time, my stylistas, it's because of you that we are here, so thank you for watching. Ciao Bella.